Hey docs, today we've got a tip regarding patient propagandist. What this means is I want to go over some things in your procedures that will create referrals. In other words, the propagandist is your current patient that's so happy with your care and their results. They are literally your bird dogs. They are passing out information about your office on a regular basis, emails, texts, verbally, and they become your propagandist. Now, what I also want to add with this is that we've had hundreds of docs, literally, that's a quantifiable number, that prove the point that the full office is also a happy home. And what that means is you have more resources, you've got more value, more currency in your bank account to take bigger and better vacations. So as we come up to the summer and more docs are looking at their holiday time, their vacation time, I want to teach you some things here today that will enhance your current vacation level. Maybe you move up from coach seats to business class. Maybe it's an Airbnb versus a hotel. Look, whatever it is on your terms, I know the offices that are full and stress-free, so it's a full and stress-free way to do things, are also the ones that create happy relationships wherever it matters most to you. My highest currency is 8 weeks off of family time each year. 8 weeks of vacation every year. We go to places like Maui and just disengage from all electronics. We took our kids on a giving trip last year to India to show them the meaning of giving and helping other people, to be a humanitarian. So these are things that I'm going to go through today that I know will help you out. And if you want more vacation time, clue into this. Let me also say this. We're going to do a video number 2. As I move through these answers, on the far side here, I'm going to give you more details on the procedures to put in your office. So if you want this, there'll be a learn more button or a get a second video button you can click here on Facebook. If you're getting this through your email, then you can just email back to us, send me the second video. So I'm going to do video 1, and then video 2 will be this content over here, which is even more detailed for office procedures to help you out. So let's jump into it. Number 1, my operational premise for all my marketing and my day 1 procedures is someone is praying to find you. In other words, someone was on their knees last night in desperation going, I need a better answer. These drugs, the medications, the pills, the surgical options, it's ad nauseum. It's an epidemic problem. And I get it. I could get on my high horse too, philosophically, and explain why I think the FDA is in bed with the pharmaceutical cartel. But the bottom line is this. People are lost in the equation. Where's the compassion and the humanity there? You see, if people are praying to find you, then you've got to show up in your office for your day 1s with a procedure mindset that I know is going to help you out. And that is, what is it that brought you in? And what I ask my patients on the day 1 is, what is it that brought you in today? I never dive right into my procedures, but it's from a compassion standpoint. And a lot of times we'll pick up on emotions that brought them in. We'll pick up on feelings. And if you really do start to catch these people on a weekly basis, which we do in our practice, you'll understand that desperation somewhere is at the bottom of that, okay? And I'll also say this with this video is I've got an unfair advantage. I'm still in the trench, and I know what works and I know what doesn't work because we see a high volume, and it's a stress-free, mellow office. Now, in the second video, what I'll explain is what brought you in, and there's 3 different arenas that people could be brought in. You see a marketing new patient brought in versus a referred new patient. I'm going to answer this in different ways with a different set of questions. So again, if you want that second video and you got this via email, email us back. Or if you're getting this on Facebook, just hit the learn more button, and then we'll split those 2 questions into 3 parts depending on the source of that new patient. But in essence, if you just apply this on your day 1 procedures, what brought you in today, Mary? There should be some element of emotion which connects them to the problem. And it's not that I want to put this there, and it's not that I want to scare them, but I need to understand their level of desperation. It will drive the process. And again, I'll explain that more over here. Number 2, context beats content. You have to want to help these people for their reasons and understand the context of wherever the reasons fit in. I'll say this, even if you're running a mechanical practice, I have procedures from our elements of closing workshop. It's how we do a fat day 1 and a skinny day 2 that really puts this into context of what are their reasons. And what I mean is neck pain isn't the reason that brought them in. The neck pain disconnects them from something they need to do, they want to do. And you need to figure out that puzzle on your day one procedures because that's the context. The neck pain is the neck pain. But what is the context around it? It's super important. And the reason that is, and we'll cover this if you want it in the second video, is the narrative they've told themselves. I'll explain that later if you want that. But find out what their real reason is. What is it that drove them in? Why today? And you know you've all had this with patients that have had low back pain for 10 years. What is their real reason for coming in? Like, why today? You know what I mean? And there's an efficacy to doing this where you're going to really get some gold in the process, and it makes your day twos easy, which is why we teach a 12-minute report of findings. So a fat day one leads to a skinny day two in a world that's going all to cash. You know it, baby. And then number 3, avoid NeoMania. Now, if you have to look that word up, you're in good company, don't worry. But NeoMania is this craze in chiropractic to always chase the new thing. Whatever the new thing is, we jump on it, and then we make mistakes, or we sort it out, or we buy the hype. Again, I've got an unfair advantage in that I know a lot of docs either are plagued with NeoMania, they're always jumping on the new and shiny thing, or they're so stubborn they haven't changed their ways in 15 to 20 years. And as the culture and environment changes around you, like the fact that your patients, because of Obamacare, think they have insurance, when in fact we know chiropractic coverage is going down, there's a huge disconnect. So if you're not abandoning old procedures to get current, that's a problem. Or if you're always jumping on the new thing year after year, you're just chasing your tail, and that too is a problem. So the answer, quite simply, is this: don't repeat mistakes. Start to focus on where your profit centers are. Start to focus on what you're really good at, and you need to repeat those activities. The reason I say that is NeoMania is a real thing in our profession where we wind up chasing all kinds of things that really aren't proven, or I always say model successful behavior, right? I have an unfair advantage. At my workshop, Elements of Closing, what I've been doing is showing my tax return. We really do collect over $1 million. You don't need to struggle to be successful. There's some romanticism around struggle in our profession that's unnecessary. The recipe is required. We have it. Join us at Elements of Closing. We'll be in Australia. We're coming back to Europe a couple more times this year. We've already been twice to Europe. And in the US, we've been selling these workshops out. It's how to do a value-rich day one and a skinny day two short on time. Now, if you want the second video that really breaks down these concepts of don't make mistakes, either hit the reply email or click the learn more button, and I'll give you all the details if this applies to you. But I'm going to finish with this. One of the most important things in what I teach is in a world of social proof, where people can look at your online reviews, check you out, and look at other people's opinions without you getting involved, you need to let the people that say no leave with their dignity. So I am the other end of the spectrum from scare care. It's what we call love care, really. I'm going to teach you, if somebody says no at the ROF, they have to leave with their dignity so that they'll still refer people to you. They absolutely will respect you. And quite honestly, you don't need to be liked in the process. You just need to know the recipe so that people will say yes. And if they say no, they don't dislike you. They leave with their dignity intact. So when I say creating a patient propagandist, these procedures in here will create referrals because it's value driven. If you ask them, what brought you in today? Why today do you want to solve this problem? If their reasons are bigger than your procedures and you really make it about them, even if they think your care plans are too expensive, they will feel like you listened to them. Number one, you listened to them and you cared about them. This is super important. And you cared about them. And number 3, if you don't repeat the mistakes, I've got a top 3 list of what those are, then you're immediately going to get better. But the successful officers don't repeat mistakes. And only a con man is 100%. I know there's a lot of hype around as your ROF numbers at 95%. And I'll tell you, it's BS because only a con man closes 100%. You should be more concerned with honoring the innate wisdom of the person in front of you. And if they say no, They leave with their dignity because your reputation is worth far more than the dollars they're going to give you. Hey, if that message resonates with you, come to Elements of Closing. We're calling it Elements of Opening in Europe because it is a different mindset there. But if this resonates with you and you want the answers, and these will be procedures, they will be scripts, serious questions that you can break down in different scenarios for where they came in. What I mean by the narratives they're telling themselves, because people don't buy logically, they buy emotionally. I'll get into the emotional component of yes, if you want that. And then the 3 different mistakes that I see on a routine basis. A lot of times you're not aware you're making these mistakes, which is why NeoMania is so appealing. If it's something new, you jump to it. Or we have another camp of docs, and you've been doing the same crap for 15 years, and you need someone to revamp you. What I'm going to give you here is in a second video. It's gold. What we teach at the 2-day workshop, Elements of Closing, all you have to do is listen to my buddy Billy DeMoss. High volume practice, large numbers of family, all cash-based care, and you see what he says about it being vitalistic and volume-based. It's going to make your life easier. And as a direct result, when your office is full, you can have a happy home because you have a lot more choices, you have a lot more flexibility, a lot more resources. And let's face it, most relationship issues start with some kind of financial strain. If we get the office tight, you just have more options. If freedom is a value of yours, you need to get to Elements of Closing. And at the very least, find out what we're going to teach you right here in video number 2.
Brad is a genius. Brad is a communication genius, and it's super, super, super easy and super simple. Like the implementation is not going to be traumatic at all, which is what the fear of any kind of practice change involves, and it's just so nice and elegant and potentially hugely profitable.
I love it. Non-traumatic implementation. We have a new phrase thanks to Mark Hudson. Yeah! See you guys soon.
Bye.